Yes! CGI paper airplanes! Paper Planes, released in 2015 and is directed by Robert Connolly, who is also behind such projects like The Bank, $3, Balibo, and The Dry. And this film is starring Ed Oxenbould, Deborah Mailman, David Wenham, and Sam Worthington is here. And the reason why we're talking about Paper Planes today is because it was a PayPal recommendation from one of my contributors and supporters on this channel, James Filbury. Thank you so much for this recommendation. I feel like I've heard this title of this film before. I can't remember where, but yeah, I feel like I've just heard of this film. Definitely never seen it before, and it's surprising that there's always a bully in every single sport, regardless of what that sport is. It could be a mainstream sport, or it could be a side sport like this. There's always a bully in there that thinks like they're the hot shit and they're the greatest thing to ever happen, and you just want to slap them across the face. Dylan Weber is a young boy living in Australia who discovers that he has a heck of a talent of building paper airplanes, and he decides to enter the Great Paper Plane Launching Flying Contest to see how he stacks up against other great paper planists in the world, all while dealing with his depressed father who has no spark to live anymore because he just lost the love of his life, being his wife. It's a very simple and a very cute film. I think that's the best word to describe this thing. This movie is adorable. This kid is adorable. This situation's adorable. The fact that there's like a professional like paper plane league in the world is adorable. Paper airplanes, it's something that you just do for fun that one time in like a kindergarten class because it's cool, and then you never do it again. Unless you're at a major sporting event and you throw a paper airplane and you're recording it for your TikTok and it hits like the ref out in the field. That's the only time you do paper planes. But I never knew just how much the designs and the different folding techniques there were to creating beautiful works of art with your planes, but also finding a plane that travels apparently miles. That's what the film would have you believe. And when we get to those long flying sequences, I'm sorry. This film's adorable, but it's also pretty bad once we get to the idea of CGI airplanes. They even have the sound effects of like an engine on the paper airplane as it goes along. You can tell that the camera's just moving and they're transposing a transparent image of a paper airplane just on the screen, just going, Again, it's adorable. And it feels like an old school movie. This film came out in 2015. If you would have told me that it came out in 1983, I would not have fought you on that. I would have believed you. Because that's the big thing I noticed about this film. They took a cheesy 80s sports movie dramatic comedy storyline and they brought it in to 2015, into this most recent decade. Our protagonist, our lead hero, is an underdog that has a knack for doing this and has a passion and vocation for creating paper airplanes. It does it for the love of doing it. And then there's always a bully or an evil competitor, always dressed in black, who's out there trying to sabotage everyone because he's trying to be the best athlete paper planist in the world. And it even gets to the point where he's smack-talking other people at a paper plane competition. And I feel bad for this bully because he has this famous golf player, at least in this story, this golf player for a dad played by David Wenham, who he's here and I just want him to narrate this entire thing and tell it in the way of like 300 or Lord of the Rings, just making it the most epic thing possible. Why he didn't do that in here, I don't know, and I'm so angry it didn't happen. But you feel bad for this kid because he's living in the shadow of his famous adopted father. And all he wants is for that one thing to be his that he's famous for. So he's willing to take out anyone. So we get the standard 80s sports film dilemma where he injures our lead character. He sprains his wrists. When that happened, I just shook my head and said, of course there has to be some extra obstacle for our hero to overcome to win this paper plane competition. He's pushed down the stairs by the bully and now his wrist hurts. Yeah, it's gonna be hard. He's not gonna be able to throw the plane. But in typical 80s fashion, he finds a way to throw the paper airplane. But our hero is also dealing with basically growing up and being more of an adult than his father, who is dealing with severe depression. He's just laying around all day because he lost his wife. I forget what they said. A car accident, I think, is what happened to her. But he's holding on to everything. He's not selling anything. They're keeping like their own old piano. He watches old VHS tapes of her and things that they went to, which I get. That's grief. Everyone deals with grief in their own way. I deal with grief by getting tattoos of the people or animals that I lost and that I love. The thing, though, about this character is that he's played by Sam Worthington, and we're still trying to shove him down our throats. We're gonna be seeing him over the next several years in the Avatar films, unfortunately. Like, he's fine. He's a good guy, I'm sure. But with his performance, how he plays this character, anyone in the world could have played this character. Someone that didn't have acting training could have done the exact same things that he did in this movie. He's here because he's a name. I don't know. How is he a name? I don't know, but he's a name. He's here. The film is really cute. It's adorable. I had smiles on my faces throughout it, and I was engaged throughout the entire film. It does feel very dated. It's a very dated style of telling a sports movie, and it gets very cheesy. That ending, the ending throw, and what happens with it, where it lands, I actually screamed out loud like, oh, come on. Really? That is cheesy as hell. It's cute, adorable, it's cheesy, it's an okay time. I'm gonna give Paper Planes 3 out of 5 Blu-rays.
Not exactly what I had in mind, but not bad.
Alright everyone, now because my favorite part of my video is where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next. And the next one is another PayPal recommendation and donation from one of my patrons, Edvard Michelson. You recommended the film Blonde. I guess it was like a short mini-series back in 2001 about Marilyn Monroe, which I think is perfect timing because I think there's a new project with Ana de Armas playing Marilyn Monroe. I don't know if it's a movie or if it's a TV show. But yeah, you know, instead of watching the new version, let's go back 20 years and watch the version from 2001. Why not? So we'll check it out next time. Thank you very much, Edvard. So guys, if you've seen Paper Planes, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of Blonde. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.